Hi everybody, welcome back to the Antisocial Planet, and today we are going to be reading chapters 31 and 32 of Tower of God. So in the last couple of chapters, we got to see the characters really settling into these new roles that they have, where they are going to be training in certain areas, kind of their specialties, whether that's scout or like fishermen and spear bearers and stuff like that. So we got to see them going into their classes, some of the people that are specifically in there. I really liked that we got the little breakdown with like the pictures and everyone's name of like where everyone ended up in the lineup of like which part of the different classes that they were going to be taking. We got to see some of them going to their first few classes. Rock making a bit of an enemy with Ghost because Ghost was able to hit the target and has like automatically passed the course and is going to be able to pass on to the next part of the tower, and Rock's a little bit bitter about that because he tried to hit the target and it did not work. So we have that, him threatening to go back to the wild. We also had Bomb making a contract to be able to use Shinsu, and there was a weird reptile thing that I don't really know who they are, but we'll see. I'm sure someone's gonna comment about it, and I'm filming this ahead of time, so I won't know. So we had that, and we also had Lorraine and Ho kind of helping Bomb understand all this stuff about Shinsu, because obviously he didn't grow up learning about that kind of thing. So we got to see that. We got to see a pretty adorable interaction between Shibitsu and Hats trying to make friends with Kun, who was not having it, and was a little bit of his sass was coming out, especially with Hats having his own pretty quick comebacks to some of the stuff that Kun had to say. So I liked that we were getting a little bit more lighthearted stuff. We have all of the like slice of life school vibes, which honestly I'm here for right now. And we also got a little bit of a like nightmare dream sequence thing with Rachel, where she was kind of off on her own with all the stars, but she could see like Bomb with all these other people, all the other people taking the test and making friends, and she was off on her own kind of in the void, which feels very symbolic of where she's kind of going. Kind of when you single-mindedly follow your own goal, your own dream, you kind of lose track of the people around you. And I liked getting to see that Bomb was kind of happily making friends separate of her, like he didn't need her in the way that he used to, which is very prevalent in the way that he is interacting with other people and working his way through the tower and being able to make friends and allies while doing that. So I liked getting all of those kind of nice, warm, fuzzy feelings. I'm sure that it will all come crashing down eventually, but I'm willing to just kind of stay in this kind of mellow, smiling, joking kind of atmosphere for a little while. So let's just get into chapter 31 and see where their classes are taking them this time. Okay. Chapter 31. Oh, hello. I guess it would be handy to have cooks that have multiple arms to be able to cook with. Oh, is that how they kind of buy things, afford things? Is test points? So the more test points you have, the more stuff you can have, like food. Interesting use of commerce. Talking about their friend list. It's so cute. I love that their assignment is to make friends. I don't know why it is, but it's cute. Aw. Lorraine is there, and Ho. I like that people are making friends. I like that Shibitsu is bringing them together. It looks like Gray is also there. Kon has his hair down. Kun has his hair down. Oh, they're gonna sit with Shibitsu too. They're friends because they signed the paper. I'm assuming Kun signed the paper. I mean, come on. Oh, Hats only needs 2 more. Way to go. Way to reel in the temper and be able to make friends. She joining in too, deciding to sit near them. I mean, friends are nice. Don't laugh, you might end up in Kun's bag. I mean, it's true. He might put you in his briefcase. Oh, did she get the wrong food? And she's gonna like exchange it? I like how Bob's trying to help out Hats. And he's like, would you like to be friends with him? I love how Bob is trying to help. He's so adorable. I don't believe in platonic relationships between opposite sexes. I would like to object formally. You can be friends with anybody, any gender, and have it be platonic. It all just matters of where you're at. You can like throw somebody in the friend zone never to ever see anything like a romantic relationship. It's totally fine. I had an argument with someone once in high school. There was a guy who said that the friend zone didn't exist, and I was like, yeah, no, it does. I've definitely put people there. Yeah, don't use clothing maybe to convince Bomb. His clothing has been limited over his lifetime. I think there's probably also some kind of strict rule about like who the princesses of Jihad can like interact with. Like there's probably some kind of rule with that. Yeah, like they feel like they're very isolated and they're kind of like they stick within their group and they're not really allowed to interact with people outside of it, but I'm not really sure exactly how that works. The lizard princess. He holds grudges. I mean, maybe. He's probably a little bit upset with Anaak, but I don't know if Bob knows how to like really be angry at someone. I bet if Anaak was just nice to him, he might forgive her really easily. Yeah, we had the whole thing where she was calling Anaak fake, which I don't think we ever got any real context for. There's something about Anaak that's like different from like the other princesses of Jihad. Ooh, that's the name. Jihad's princesses. First part. Who are you? New character. Cool, practical test. We like to see it. Oh dear, that seems a little bit intense, but... See, they both have like the needles. So I'm assuming that that's one of the like 13 weapons, like 13-month weapons of some kind. I forgot that they were in the same class. And that they're gonna have to compete against each other, which seems like a family feud waiting to happen, but I guess we'll see how this turns out. Oh, okay, they gave the needles. Never mind, disregard what I said. That's right, because green. Her Onyx is also green. She has the green April. I like your pigtails. Hex is your name? Hello. Yes, is there protection? Good question. If we were falling off of pillars, what is the failsafe for that? Oh, okay. We're just injuring people now? I mean, I guess the tower would do something like that, wouldn't it? I knew that we were gonna get something. I was like, all of the warm and fuzzies and joking around and being friends, and now it's just like, all right, here's another death match. I mean, I guess they won't necessarily die, but like horrifically injured. They seem a little bit nervous. Everyone kind of staying in place because they're not sure. I bet Anaak's just going for it. She's got some good mobility. Also, I guess she can't use her weapon. I was gonna say she can attack like distances, but she's not allowed to use the green April, so I guess that's not applicable here. I feel like you saying she won't be crazy enough to attack you is just tempting her to attack you, like just foreshadowing it at its truest form. See, this is what I'm saying. Anaak is definitely gonna do the crazy thing, because when has she ever done the sane and like level-headed thing? See, I'm like, she's definitely gonna try and attack her. Look at that face. I mean, I also believe that. I also believe that like someone would be like, oh, I'm the strongest and everybody knows it, so they want to attack me, which I feel is like where she's at. And Anaak's just like, oh, I'm gonna attack the most powerful person. Oh, is that what the clip means? It's a symbol of jihad? I really want to know why she's calling Anaak a fake. I want to know what the context is for that. Endorsi, I have to remember that. Endorsi might be a she. Again, the names all come from different, if it was just Korean, then I know it would be she, but all of the names come from different places, so I don't actually know. I'm sure someone will let me know. Is she gonna fight her without the needle? Is that the challenge now? You see, because she's saying that Anaak is calling herself a daughter of jihad. So is like that what's happening? Like, did she somehow get the green April out of some like weird circumstance and kind of like became a princess of jihad by like default? I have a lot of questions about Anaak. Hello? I mean, does she have some kind of Shinsu? Is she allowed to use it? Does she have a contract? Because just because she's not part of the like the wave controllers doesn't mean that like someone isn't a Shinsu user. It just means that they didn't make it into that particular class. Bit of a standoff. I wonder if Anaak is also going to throw away the needle to like prove that she also doesn't need it to defeat Endorsi. But I guess I'll have to wait until the next chapter, which is fine because we'll read it right now. Chapter 32. Looks like we're in some kind of control room of some kind. The administrators, perhaps? Oh, does it have to do with Kuhn's class, where you kind of can gather information and stuff like that? Called it. I think this is such a good position for Kuhn. Like, it just fits like the way that his brain works. Is it too simple for him? Or is he just not interested maybe? I feel like Kuhn might also feel a little bit disheartened about like having to stay still for so long. Like they're spending a month on this like one like test, but like going to classes and stuff like that. So I feel like he might feel a little bit frustrated about that as well. And it's not like a combat role for him. Like it's just information and understanding how to like collect it and going through it and stuff like that. So maybe research isn't his thing. Yeah, because I remember who said it. Someone said something about like Lady Yuri being special in a certain way and it'd been like centuries or something. So it does seem like princesses of jihad are pretty rare. Like one, in like they have like a lower number of them, but also two, that they're like not frequently chosen. Like it's something that happens very rarely that they are even announced to be a princess of jihad. And now we have Anaak and Endorsi just like both at the same time and happen to be progressing through the tower at the same time. And like even Lady Yuri is here, which I don't know if like having 3 of them is unique. I don't know if like other princesses of Jihad are like working in the tower in some way, but it seems like also Lady Yuri is a bit of an outlier, so it feels like weird things are happening and like anomalies are happening. Ooh, is Kun gonna figure out some kind of secret about Anaak? Because I hope he does. I hope he follows the mystery. I do love mysteries so much. Search Lororo. His brain's doing something else. He's put all this research stuff on autopilot and he's thinking about other stuff. Same. Me during classes. Good point. So we have the information that to be chosen to get one of these 13 weapons, you have to be a ranker, and Anaak is not. Because that's also something, because I'm trying to see if like Endorsi like has one of the 13 weapons, and like Kun's pointing out you don't have to necessarily have one and you can still be a princess of Jihad, but Anaak does. So there has to be something special about her, or something that is like outside of the norm about her, for the reason that she would have one. 2, I guess. Now she has 2 because of the Black March as well. Is Lororo teaching their class and Ku's just like off in his own thing? Yes, give me info. So wait, okay, so if it says that Anaak was chosen after becoming a ranker, I'm assuming she isn't a ranker, like at least who we see as Anaak, because she's being allowed to like progress through the tower normally. Ranker means that you've already done that. So did she steal the identity? Is there some weird spy like stuff going on? Show me, Kun. Give me the information. That's what I just said. It's like, is it like a stolen identity thing? That's true though. They said like a few chapters ago that the name that you have in the tower isn't necessarily your real name, and we saw that with Rachel where she had a different name, which is why I didn't like recognize when I was just seeing the list. I had to like see her face. So I guess Anaak could just take a name and have that be like what people call her while she's in the tower, but it's not actually her name. Did she kill the actual Anaak? I'm very worried about where this is going, but I like a good mystery, so please continue. Is Anaak trying, because she really wanted the Black March, so is she trying to collect a bunch of the 13-month weapons? For some reason I asked this before. Ow. I asked this before where I was asking, like, is bringing all of them together beneficial in some way? Like, does that create something? Do they become a ultra powerful weapon? Does it work as like a key? I'm trying to think of this in like video game fantasy logic, where like that would be why you'd want to collect all of the mystical weapons, was to like unlock the thing or make the thing and have it be really powerful and beneficial for you in some way. I don't really know what Anaak's goal is, so let's just keep reading. Oh, she still has the needle though. I thought maybe she would throw it away because Endorsi didn't have hers, like she dropped hers over the edge of a pillar. I think it fell over the edge. Oh, hello there. Are you going to take advantage of the fact that you are, 1, being forced to move around the pillars, and 2, that there are other people around to use in some way? Think how unworried she seems. She's just like, oh, see, that's what I was saying. I was like, is she gonna take advantage of like Anaak being kind of like a one single-minded runaway train vibe? I do like that, kind of like the lines where she's like kind of gracefully hopping, and then you could kind of like this chaos happening that I'm assuming is Anaak. I like how she's kind of playful. I kind of like her. I don't know if I want to, but I like her kind of playful vibe that she's got going on. And I like that she's like using basically like her environment. Like she's kind of like the people that are there, the weapons that are there, taking advantage of kind of positioning herself in the right way so that she doesn't really have to like fight one-on-one, or like hand-to-hand combat, I guess. Oh, the poor people get on the way though of this fight between these two. Oh, did he fall over the edge? Poor guy. These poor like bystanders that are just being used as like human shields. Maybe human isn't the right word here. They're all kind of different creatures. Oh no! That time she just took his needle and kicked him off. Spartan style.
This is Sparta!
I don't know how I feel about her. I like her playful energy, but I don't like her just using others as like dragon fodder. It's true though, she does seem very relaxed going up against Anaak. And we know that Anaak is one of the more powerful people in the tower, right? Well, like in this part of the test, the tower. I don't want to talk about the tower as like a collective, because I'm sure there are lots of extremely powerful people making the tower function and stuff like that. See, now she's getting rid of the needle and she's gonna fight. Determined though. Okay, like I know Anaak is trying to be like scary and intimidating, but I can't forget the fact that she wags her tail. And it's just like the cutest thing. It's just like the intimidation's gone, because I'm like, you're adorable. See, that's what I was saying too. Like, Anaak seems like she can use Shinsu, obviously, and Dorsey seems like she can use Shinsu to some extent. So, like, even people who aren't part of the, like, Shinsu user group still have the potential of being able to use it. And I'm sure that maybe they've made contracts of some kind, but, like, it isn't the focus of their training. And in this case, Anaak's using it to, like, strengthen her physical body, as opposed to, like, what Bomb was doing, where it was, like, the orb of energy, which is a different use of it. Like, the difference between using Shinsu for like augmenting your body, or like using it to help you like maneuver when you're fighting with like a weapon or like your bare hands, as opposed to like using Shinsu as a weapon like we saw with Lorraine. I love all the world building. I love that I'm getting like world building and context for things as they're like going through their lessons. Dang, she's got some speed now. I mean, that was technically her ankle, but I see what you were going for. See, I keep trying to get a good look of her clip, and it looks like it has like the 3 eyes. Have I seen that before? I'm trying to like remember back to all of the like artwork and stuff, like the wall carvings. I can't remember. Wait a like this is such a like anime thing. To like throw, like be in the air and throw somebody down to the ground again. I always think of Dragon Ball, even though that's like early seasons Dragon Ball kind of fighting before all of the like being thrown through planets and what have you, but Dragon Ball was like my childhood. So I wonder who the original Anaak was though. And I kind of get the animosity too, if like this, I don't know, sibling that Endorsey had was like the original Anaak, and then now there's like someone else in that place. Is there ever a time where like the name is like a title? Is what I'm also thinking. Like Yuri Jihad a title, is Anaak Jihad a title, is Endorsey Jihad a title, and then it just kind of gets passed down. And you know, if you, as someone pointed out in one of the comments, like if you can get to the top of the tower, you can wish for anything you want. Why not wish for immortality? So like if you live for a really long time, then you know, maybe nobody really picks up on it necessarily that it's a title. I don't know if that was a good way to end that thought, but I'm gonna end it there for right now. Who is she? Who? Okay, now I definitely want to know who had originally had the Green April was. Didn't she say that like the princesses of Jihad like couldn't have any kind of relationship with other people? It's like I was saying before, of like there may be some kind of rule that like restricts who they can interact with. So like how would the original Anaak have a child? I mean, I guess adoption is a possibility. I just want to know the backstory now. Niece, oof. The one who caused her death though. Why? I just want to know. No, don't end. I'm so sad now because I don't get to just jump to read the next one. So it looks like we are getting a focus on the princesses of Jihad, which has been like a bit of a mystery since we met Lady Yuri. It's been like a thing that's just kind of been floating around in terms of world building and context and stuff like that. So I love that we're getting to learn a bunch of that. I loved the use of Kun and like how his brain works, where he's always like, you know, thinking through stuff. There's always a lot going on behind kind of the laid back facade of him, and getting to see him like using the fact that he has all of this research available to him, all this information, and using that to try and solve this mystery in his class. And how, you know, we have all of this mystery of Anaak and her being a bit of an outlier. She seems to have a lot of, I don't know, she has like a certain view of it, like what the princesses of Jihad should be, and she has a lot of animosity for anyone who like doesn't fit into that. And I feel like there's a lot of like anger and kind of like vengeful feeling to her, and I feel like that really falls into place when I think about if in fact, and I assume this is correct, that the original kind of Anaak that she's taking her name from is her mother, and she died in some way, and she was a princess of Jihad. I wonder if there was something tied up in that, like Anaak being raised kind of with her mother's ideal of what the princesses of Jihad were supposed to be, and then maybe something happened in that, like, you know, if it's forbidden to have children when you're a princess of Jihad, if it's forbidden to like have children, that falls outside of like, I don't know, the system of how princesses of Jihad kind of function. I don't really fully know what kind of the cultural kind of aspect to them is. So like maybe her mother broke the rules in some way in having Anaak or caring for Anaak, and that resulted in her death in some way, and that might be why why Anaak has like a very strict idea of what the princesses of Jihad should be and how they should act. I feel like that kind of falls closely into Hatz's personality, which is why they like, I feel like they kind of understood each other, even if Anaak seems to be a bit of a lone wolf. And I feel like maybe that is because maybe something happened with her mother and the princesses of Jihad and she just like lost faith in people. I'm not really sure, but I really want to know, and I'm like upset that I'm gonna have to wait. And I love the character backstories, and I do like, I don't know, I like Endorsi's like kind of playful personality. I feel like she has a very unbothered way of interacting in a fight, and you know, we got to see a little bit of her kind of being thrown off balance, but it's kind of what Kun has in a fight, where he's like very confident in himself and he's very laid back. So I kind of like that style. I like someone who in a fight is very confident in themselves and like knows that they've got this figured out. So I like that aspect. I don't like her just like kicking people off of pillars because they're in her way, or using them to like block Anaak's attacks and stuff like that. So I don't know. I'm torn about how to feel about her, but I guess we'll find out. I guess we're gonna get some more story as we explore this interaction with her niece. I have to like rethink how I think of Anaak, but it's crazy that they like set that up that you can like have any name you want, and it kind of clicked in my brain right before the reveal that I was like, oh my gosh, she doesn't have to be Anaak Jihad. Like, she could just have chosen that name for going up the tower and it doesn't have to be true. Like, ugh, I love that. I love when people foreshadow things and I get it just like the second before it's like applicable, because it's like my favorite. That's why I love like mystery stories and puzzles and stuff like that, like I've talked about before. This comic is because I like figuring it out like just before the reveal, so I'm like, I feel slightly smarter. I feel slightly smarter than the characters, but it's like not super obvious that that's what's happening. So I feel like I'm just like giddy with the high of how excited I am about reading more of this story. But I guess it'll have to wait for the next video. Makes me sad, which is a good place to be, I guess, that we're enjoying it and that we're getting excited about it. It's a good problem to have. You can click this playlist if you want to see my previous reactions, or you can subscribe so you don't miss the next time I post a Tower of God video, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!